Hi, thank you everybody for joining me for episode 2 of Dark and Twisted. Today I would like to talk a little bit more about my other spinal diagnosis, and that is Spina bifida Occulta. I know, it's a lot to say. So when you are diagnosed with Spina bifida Occulta, what it means is it's occulta part means that it's hidden. So there are 3 different types of spina bifida, and I have the hidden type. So I had mentioned in the first episode that doctors always said that my spinal cord never fully closed and there's like a hole. And that has a name. That's Spina bifida Occulta. And I have to think, and some doctors agree, that this is probably the underlying issue of why I actually got scoliosis. So knowing that my lower back always hurt, it was never really fully addressed. I would like to look back and think that doctors were just kind of letting me go throughout life and not really know what was going on down there, because I was really active and I didn't maybe have the typical symptoms that others do have already. So they kind of just let me go on with my life. They didn't like that certain jobs that I worked, and they didn't like that I waitressed and I was still playing basketball, but they said, hey, if you're able to do it, then do it. But there is one thing that always did stand out, and from a very young age, many doctors said that I would be wheelchair bound by the age of 30 because of my back. So that definitely dictated a lot of my life, knowing that, man, I really need to live it up because I'm going to be, strapped in a chair at 30 years old. So I'm going to just do whatever I want to do. And that's how I lived my life. So I would like to talk about my journey going through this. I would like to try to break some of these topics down. I'm a part of many spine groups out there. The one thing I'm thankful about with social media is I have been able to find all these wonderful groups and meet other people like myself, which is amazing because there is thousands of you out there that have experienced the same thing as me or going through this journey, and I'm hoping that my story could help you. So along with having the Spina bifida Occulta, I actually was diagnosed back in 1999-2000 of having a spondylolysis, and I didn't understand what that meant. I actually had an MRI done, and spina bifida and spondylolysis were listed on that. Now, back in 1999-2000, Google didn't exist, so I honestly just never really understood what that meant, but I did understand that it meant something not good is going on down there. In my early 20s, I also started getting spinal injections for the pain. I actually was a part of U of M Spinal Clinic in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they were very great to me. I really enjoyed the doctors there, but again, I was kind of a guinea pig in a sense that they had never met somebody so young having all these spinal issues, and they also didn't understand how I could move so well. So my first injection, I remember they didn't offer me even to be put to sleep. I believe they did, saying I could be in like a twilight. But I figured, hey, I've already been through enough. I can do this wide awake. So I started getting the pain injections in my lower spine in my early 20s, which brought me great relief. I would get them done every 6 months. I would show up and I would drive myself home. Now things are much different now. They kind of force you to get put to sleep, which I'm pretty sure that's because they want the extra money from insurance. But don't tell them I said that. But I understand if you flinch, you know, it takes the risk of possibly getting a nerve and whatnot. So yeah, those would kind of keep me tied over. Of course, when you go to your checkups, they were always testing the bottom of my feet. Like they take your foot, they kind of, you know, do this underneath to see if you feel it. Checking my reflexes in my legs. All was good, but there was a hip issue. My right hip was always an issue because of how my body is. One leg is about a half inch longer than the other. So they said later in life, I would probably need to get my hip replaced. I see a lot of people asking about the spinal injections. I know there has been a few docs out there, documentaries I should say, about these spinal injections. I know in recent years there's some really horrible things happen to some people getting spoiled injections, and that's awful, and I feel so bad for those people because you want to trust who is doing this to you. I mean, this is something major. They're sticking needles in your spinal cord. I would also start getting the facet injections. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And actually, I would stay awake for those procedures too. So you have to understand, I lost feeling in a lot of my back when I was 12 years old. I even don't have feeling that goes up into here and down. That was gone since my first surgery when I was 12 years old. So when they would go onto the lower back, most of the time I didn't even really feel it, to be honest with you. I'm thankful for those. I think they extended my life by many years and allowed me to do a lot of things that I should have never been doing. But as years went on, definitely my diagnosis was starting to become worse. And that's what led into the spondylolisthesis, pars defect, degenerative disc disease. All those things are just so debilitating and they are so painful. I think the worst part about Spina bifida Occulta is I can feel everything. So it's not like the other spina bifida where you are usually paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. I feel everything and it sucks, and that's the truth. It's a 24-hour a day situation of always being in pain. So we're going to talk more about these subjects. These are things that I'm really passionate about, and I really want to let you all know that I hear you, I understand you, and I am validating your pain. And I hope that you guys will join me for other episodes and hear about my journey. Thank you so much. Toodles. Thank you all for watching my dark and twisted tales. If you like what you are hearing and you would like to know more, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Toodles.